All right, welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official news break. This is a brief news break about the recent breaking news about Brittney Griner. She has recently received a 9-year sentence over in Russia, and the LGBTQ community and Caucus is absolutely silent. They have not made one tweet as of yet, as of today, as of this morning, about this whole Brittney Griner trial as an entirety. One of the things about this particular situation is that it involves everyone who represents the community of intersectionality, especially when it comes to Black people, because we all understand that intersectionality does not include straight Black men. Matter of fact, it's an anti straight Black man agenda. And that's why I have all of these individuals on the screen. And if you see the smallest picture at the very, very top, you will see all of the people who want to get close to Joe Biden as well. And then right under that, you see the Black Women is the Culture crew, which, they are, that's Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid, who are working very hard for the powers that be to draw a divide within Black men and Black women to tear down our community and attack, of course, the nuclear family. Then, of course, right under that, we have another one who is on board the same train and a part of the same party as these ladies up here, which is Billy Porter, who, for all intents and purposes, likes to see himself as one of them. And then on the other side of Brittney Griner at the bottom would be Little Nas X, the other novelty show of the LGBTQ community. As Torian says, the Academy. These people have nonstop made the foundational Black American straight community look like they had some kind of hatred against LGBTQ, trans, and so on and so forth. Well, with this being said, all of their counterparts to whom they came speaking for are now silent on their behalf. Even these same people who had, the whole talk of women are the Black culture, like, women are the Black community is only women and the men are non-existent. Well, you don't get to the children without the men. You need the men and the women. And so they're trying to disrupt that continuity of understanding of just how you continue your lineage going. This, and so if you should understand where that goes back to, it's a soft form of eugenics. With that being said, remember what they had to say.
And we forget that it's okay to take the cape off.
So when you have those particular situations, just remember it's okay to take the cape off. Well, then in this case, do not expect straight foundational Black Americans, males, to come to this defense, since this woman has a whole wife. She is part of the Academy and really has no tie other than her Blackness, which most of these individuals cannot ever seem to just identify as Black. They want to take every other identification under the sun other than Black. With that being said, can't really blame Black men. They tried to rope LeBron James in this. But no, truth be told, everybody that should have been speaking up for her is on the screen right now. And those are the people to whom should have been called out. But of course not. Of course not. Because they can't put that into the narrative. They want no parts of it. So, with that being said, let's look at some, we're going to run some clips, because this ain't going to be long. Just going to run some clips and show you what's going on and just how people are reacting out here. I found, we'll start with old Joyless Reed.
This was a quote from you. There is no justice in Russia. Brittney and Paul will not receive justice in Russia. They're not going to receive a fair trial. They will not receive a fair investigation. They will be there as hostages until the United States gets them out. You know that from experience. What do you make of the fact that this trial is ongoing with, arguments being made and that they're proceeding as if it's a real trial?
Yeah, so that that's all a facade. So Russia tries very hard to have the appearance of having a legitimate legal system while also trying extremely hard to make sure that there is absolutely no reality of that legal system actually working. So everything that happens inside of a courtroom in Russia is largely just theater. It doesn't matter what kind of evidence you have. It doesn't matter what laws or procedures the government has violated there. They're not going to materialize into any type of actual justice.
Well, that's not new for black people, though. And here's the one thing: you're trying to bring Russia into it. America has conducted itself the same exact way against black people nonstop. Matter of fact, trying to put more police on the street right now, giving police more money, billions of dollars for militarized weaponry. So, no, it's no different here. This is not no special situation. That is just being black in America. Welcome to it. So, that's another thing. So when you have these type of conversations and they're like, well, why is it? We have been targeted this way for the longest. Your denial of that targeting has not helped you or us. And it's really not helping Brittney Griner right now, because now she's getting the realization of global white supremacy. And her life now can be hung in the balance because Russia and America's dealings are not in the best of standing. So, with that being said, let's hear from an elected official.
She was convicted and sentenced. So now that that's happened, is it more likely, you think, that we may see them willing to negotiate? Essentially, does a conviction open new doors for negotiation?
That's really up to the Russian side. We're still open to having our proposal seriously and positively considered. And if on the Russian side that means that they feel like they're more empowered to do that, then so be it. We want them to take the offer that's on the table because it's a good one, it's a fair one, and it'll help bring Paul and Brittney home. And if this is what's it's gonna take to get them to yes, then okay, let's get to yes. Let's get them home.
And it has been now almost a week since Secretary Blinken and Lavrov spoke over the phone. Have you gotten any serious signs from Russia that they're willing to negotiate? Is there any glimmer of progress since then in the last week?
I'm not going to negotiate in public. Conversations are ongoing at various levels, and I'll just leave it at that.
And just to follow up on Nancy's question, what message do you think the Russians are trying to send to the U.S. by giving Brittney Griner so severe a sentence?
Again, I can't speak for the Russian judge, and your question presupposes that it's a message-sending exercise. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. As I said, historically, what we've seen is foreign-born citizens that are arrested and convicted of drug charges tend to get, just historically, anecdotally speaking, tend to get higher sentences, almost to the max, which in many cases is 10 years in Russia, as opposed to Russian-born citizens of the country convicted of the same offense. It's just, it tends to be the case there. So honestly, I wish I could get inside the judge's head. I can't do it, so I can't define why he chose 9 years. As I said to Nancy, it's a reprehensible sentence. She shouldn't have been on trial to begin with. But again, that's why I think that's why you saw the president come out so strongly against this sham trial to begin with.
But to be clear, do you think she's being used as a political pawn here?
We think that Brittney and Paul Whelan are being wrongfully detained. They are being wrongfully detained. They need to be let go. They need to come home. We're going to keep working on that. I cannot ascribe Russian motives or intent here. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to try to speculate what's in their heads. All I can do is tell you where President Biden is and the national security team. Wrongfully detained, need to come home. There's a deal on the table. Let's make the deal. Let's get them home.
All right. And that makes sense. I ain't mad at that at all. With that being said, this could have been discussed in this medium a long time ago, and it should have been, because this is a government issue, not another athlete issue. Just because if it hadn't have been LeBron, well, why isn't LeBron speaking up? And LeBron is in a different league. I mean, they are in brother sister leagues, true indeed. But LeBron does not play basketball for the WNBA. He plays for the NBA. And there's enough WNBA players that they could have made enough noise collectively if they wanted to, but they didn't. They looked to someone else. Here's something I really don't understand about the hate straight black men crowd and black men ain't no good and toxic black masculinity. You know that protection part that you like to ask for? You threw that out with your intersectionality. So now don't come and bring black men's name up into a conversation to which you purposely excluded them from. No, no, no. This is a all women, all LGBTQ community, all black man haters, all intersectionality individuals. This is your bag. This is your agenda. All you reparation haters, empowerment haters, this is for you. This is your gig. You need to be over here trying to get Brittney home. And you really need to be working hard, by the way. But nonetheless, let's just take some looks at, I believe this shows you how things began and where we are now here today.
Мы продолжаем настаивать на том, что она по неосмотрительности, в спешке, собрав чемодан, не обратила внимания на то, что вещества, разрешенные для использования в США, оказались в этом чемодане и приехали в Российскую Федерацию. Она это сделала неумышленно.
We believe she needs to come home. She should be home.
Добрый день. И нашего специалиста с опытом работы более 30 лет, который рассказал о тех пороках, которые он обнаружил в государственной экспертизе, почему он считает ее несоответствующей законодательству и необоснованной.
What are your expectations today?
No expectations.
And once again, these ladies are silent. You know, they're coming out now because I guess obviously the government green light has been lit so they can actually, speak on things again. And I guess that's cool. However, here's another thing, family, that I know they're not going to address. Now, if this was a black commentator doing this, they'd be thrown absolutely under the bus. Everybody would be in an uproar right now, especially all of these women to whom you see right there on your screen right now. But check this out.
Ian, are you okay? You were tackled? Are you okay?
I've been through a lot worse.
Listen, if Ian thinks he can survive in a Russian prison, which apparently he believes, a tackle from Nathaniel Hackett is the least of his problems.
That was not really for air, but sure. I would say that's true.
James Palmer, just pull back the curtain on the conversation we had off the air during the commercial. We're happy to report that he is okay.
See how one person just went off code there and they all were uncomfortable because they knew he was off code? Let that be a lesson to what they actually say off script, off camera about black people. Now, one last video before we go. hearing her own words and hearing her own discussion, this is something that happened today. So again, here we go.
My parents taught me two important things. One, take ownership for your responsibilities, and two, to work hard for everything that you have. That's why I pled guilty to my charges. I understand everything that's being said against me, the charges that are against me, and that is why I pled guilty. But I had no intent to break any Russian laws. I want to apologize to my teammates, my club, Gemka, the fans, and the city of ECAT for my mistake that I made and the embarrassment that I brought onto them. I made an honest mistake, and I hope that in your ruling that it doesn't end my life here. Everybody keeps talking about political pawn and politics, but I hope that that is far from this courtroom.
One thing about that, when I hear stuff like that, matter of fact, let me get this back on the screen. There we go. When I hear stuff like that, it just makes me think it's always cool to be political when it's benefiting what is feeding your current appetite. But it changes when you absolutely are dealing with, hey, all of them bridges that you burnt with straight black men and the black family community, the nuclear family community, by all of y'all's antics. It makes it very hard to look at you and say we can defend you now, especially when you're in a situation to where that's a whole nother country. Don't you know better? That's what you would be saying to us. I mean, because black men have been blamed for damn near everything, and we ain't no good, and toxic masculinity at every chance you get. Billy and Little Nas X talking about homophobia. All of these women up here pro-abortion and transphobia, shamers, and all of that. Yeah, can't do nothing for you. And all of these people are now silent. None of them are campaigning. If they cannot campaign against black straight men, women, and the nuclear black family, then they absolutely will remain silent. Hope this is a lesson to all of you intersectionality people, because this is how it ends. You have no allies. You are always black, and you have no friends outside of that. Hopefully, this message sinks in. They are still talking about trying to get her back, which probably will happen eventually, I imagine. But let this be a lesson. The whole world is not America. The stuff that you can get away here, you will not be able to carry all over the planet. And rightfully so. Because some people have better sense than to let chaotic, over emotional individuals dictate the future of their countries. Because they can now see how the America letting this go on is dictating still and affecting the future of their country. So right now, you people on the screen right now are the absolute last people that the rest of the world even wants to hear from. Because all are suffering from all of your little antics because you feel that you should push an agenda over what absolutely has common sense, logic, and reason. That's why when you start sitting down talking to these people, none of them can ever answer a direct question with a direct answer because they are all liars. And with that being said, you just got to let that be what it is and write these individuals off. Like I said, I do believe Brittney Griner will finally be released and sent back home. But again, let this be a lesson. You are black. you are black and you are black. If you want to put black and anything, then you have become an intersectionality individual. And then you'll be looking just like Brittney's face right there on the screen. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at beatzillapdx, Patreon, beatzillapdx official, and Melanated People, Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That is ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And you can also give by way of donation at CashApp. CashApp $beatzillapdx. That is CashApp $beatzillapdx. And then, of course, at PayPal, that is Zilla Muzak. That is ZillaMuzak. And once again, this has been a Beatzilla PDX official news break. And again, just talking, about how none of these people who represent and always strongly represent the LGBTQ community and their narrative in public forums all the time, and even against the black community all the time right now, are silent. They're absolutely silent. And Billy Porter's a whole pose dude. That's supposed to be representing the entire culture. So it's not just gay men, it's supposed to be representing the women too. So I would have figured that Billy would know that. So wouldn't this be the time for him to kind of step in for the system? And use his platform of stardom, right? I guess not. Well, with that being said, again, thank y'all for tuning in. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe this broadcast and this channel, by the way, because we are severely shadow banned. We are trying to make it over to 1,000. The watch hour says we should be at about 3,000. So let's make it do what it do, please. And with that being said, y'all have a blessed day and avoid trickery from individuals like that. And one last thing. Foundational Black American Vote Boycott. You can hit up 3 minutes of empowerment. That is the B1 puppet. And you can hit that individual up so you can go get your JPEGs, your flyers if you need them. You can get posters if you need them. And he will facilitate that situation for you as soon as you contact him. So again, go to Twitter, follow 3 minutes of Black Empowerment, or go here to YouTube, 3 minutes of Black Empowerment. Hit that brother up. Get your foundational Black American Vote boycott flyers today and go forth pushing the message of reparations. Black first, Black first, Black first. And with that being said, y'all have a blessed one. We are out of here, and I will see y'all next evening for the weekly wrap up. Y'all take care.
6-0. If you want genuine black conversation that's uncompromised, unfiltered, join 6zeros.net today.
Jay?
Yes?
I love 6 Zeros. I'm so excited there's a site where we could finally talk about black issues.
When's the last time you posted?
Well, the way my phone is set up.
You're clearly not that excited about 6 Zeros. Have a great day.